I did forget to press record. I'm just saying this because those guys would have missed the first 2 minutes. So all we're going to do, guys, everyone else is working, but this is the first exercise. So you're just going to lie in the shape of a T. We're going to do a lower body focus starting with that right leg. You're going to bring the leg up and out to the side, leading with the knee. You're going to start to bend the knee. Once it gets in line with the hip, you're going to lift it across to try and follow over to the floor on the opposite side. Once we get there, we'll lift the foot back over the hip. Let the knee fall out towards the floor. Let the heel touch the floor, and we're going to curl it all the way back down to meet the other foot. So you're just doing a nice big circular motion, just opening up into the lower back and the hip, and we're going to do 5 on our right side, 5 on our left. Sorry, everyone having to hear my whole repeat there again. So we're going to do a couple of static stretches within this today, so that means we're going to be holding them for a long period of time. And once you've done your 5 and 5, there's absolutely no rush, but just stay laying flat on the floor just so I know once you're not moving, you're done. Because we will be working on the floor for another moment. Perfect, all right, staying in that position, we're now going to lift our right knee up so it's over the hip, so it's in the air. And from there, I'm going to push it across to the left side, and I'm going to use my left hand and just gently place my hand on the outside of the knee, giving it a tug and trying to push it down to the floor. Now, the whole time I'm trying to keep my right shoulder blade and elbow pressed into the floor. And we're just going to take a couple of big deep breaths here, trying to breathe into that rib cage and find a little bit of space. Good, we're just going to bring it back to center and lengthen the leg, and we're just going to swap sides. So lift that left knee up over the hip, left arm is out to the side, keep that in contact with the floor. Using your right arm, you're going to pull that leg all the way across. You might not touch the floor, but you're just giving it a gentle nudge with that hand and breathing into that rib cage, trying to create a little bit more space. Good, you're going to bring that knee back to the center. What you're going to do is you're just going to sit up. We're going to take our legs out into a straddle. So we're going to have them as wide as we can, but the main goal is to try to keep those knees pointing down towards the floor and your toes are pointing up. So from this position, we're going to walk our hands out in front of us and we're just going to hold it here for about 30 seconds. So ideally, we want to try to keep that chest upright if we can, rather than just collapsing into it. So once you get out there, just make sure that your knees are straight, they're pushing down to the floor and just holding it here. So we should be getting this into the lower back, into the groin, into the hips and the hamstrings. Good. From there, guys, you're going to walk your hands all the way over to that left side, as far away from you as you can. And you're going to try to wrap that left hand around the left foot on the outside. If you can only reach the shin, just reach the shin. And we're just going to pull yourself down that little bit more, keeping both glutes pushed into the ground. So you feel a nice big stretch up the opposite side, your QL, so to the right-hand side of your back. And again, just breathing into the belly, nice big deep breaths. Good, you're going to walk your hands over your foot as far away from your body as you can, all the way over to that right side. And again, you're going to grab onto the foot or else the leg, whatever is most comfortable for you, and then try to pull yourself down a little bit. Perfect, you can slowly release yourself out of that, and we're just going to bring the soles of the feet together as we're seated. If you want and you have access to a couch or a wall right behind you, if you can sit your back up against the couch, just to make it a little bit more of an intense stretch. Soles of the feet are together, and then you're going to just use your hands to pull your feet in a little bit closer towards the groin area and just let those knees fall out. So we will do a stretch to finish off the class where we're going to do our straddle against the wall, and it's really just going to get deep into those adductors because they're pretty hard to get at. As you're sitting here, guys, let's take your hands onto the knees, and we're not going to force the legs down, but we're going to take a big deep breath in, and as we breathe out, we're just going to apply a small bit of pressure to push those knees down. So we're pushing for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 3, 2, 1, and just release. You can let them come back to normal. From there, we're going to take the hands back out. We're going to push again for 10 seconds, all right? Take a big deep breath in, and off we go. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 3, 2, 1, and relax the hands. All right, we're going to do the complete opposite now. So we're going to take the hands on the inside of the legs, and we're going to do 2 rounds of pushing your knees in as if you're trying to close the knees, but you're using your hands to push against so they're not letting them close. All right, so take your hands on the inside of the knees. We're ready to push in. Try squeeze the legs closed for 10, 9, 8, keep pushing, 5, 3, 2, 1, release the hands, relax, good job. Just pull the feet in a little bit, or maybe sit up taller if you feel yourself about to slouch. We have 1 more round, so pulling our knees closed. In 3, 2, 1, off we go. 10. 3, 2, 1, and relax, good job. All right, what we're gonna do is we're just gonna take the feet out in front of us. So our knees are bent, your feet are in front. You're going to use your hands behind you, the feet are about hip distance, and you're just going to bring yourself over into a squat. So just walk your feet out wide if you need to. If you need to pop your runners or something as a heel under you, you can have them there. And we're going to sit in this squat for a minute. It's not going to be very comfortable to start with, but trust me, it will get a lot easier as we go. If you really have to come out of it, just roll back onto your bum for a second and then roll back into it. So this is really, really good for opening up through the ankle joints, through the hips, through the lower back. Sitting in a squat for a minute a day will do wonders for you guys that are sitting at home on a laptop all day. And you're using your hands on the inside to try push the knees out. You're already 30 seconds through, so well done. Laura, is this all right on the knee? If it's not, just come out of it. Yeah. Ten more seconds, guys. We're going to walk our hands in front and we're just going to roll forwards onto the knees. We will come back to that squat in a minute. But once we're on that knee, guys, what we're going to do is we're going to have a neutral pelvis. And we're just going to go for 3 hip cars each direction. So I want you to be really strict with that low back. You're going to lift the knee up. We're going to rotate the knee out as we circle it around towards our elbow. So really slowly. Just notice if there's any crunching or tightness for 3. Once we've done our 3, we're going to go the opposite direction. We lift the knee out, rotate it back up towards the ceiling, and pull it back in under the hip again. So 3 each direction. Once we've done that, you're going to swap to the other side. And try not to move those hips, guys. Pretend you have a glass of Prosecco. So 3 each direction on both sides. Once you've done that, guys, what you're going to do, from your all fours, I want you to really tuck your toes in. If you can, I would prefer you to bring the heels as close as you can together, but some of you might not be able to. And then what we're going to do is we're going to try sit our bum back, sit our weight back so our shoulders are over the hips, and we're really just pushing into those toes. So we're just opening up the whole back chain. Think about how much time you spend on your feet, how much work they actually do to keep your body moving. If you're feeling really good, you can pop your hands behind you, but once that weight is still pushing down into the toes, we're here for a minute as well. It's not going to feel as bad as the squat, unless your ankles are very, very tight. So keep breathing into it. They will loosen as we get in. Another 30 seconds to go. If it's really unbearable, just come back to the forwards and just hold up with your hands. And once we loosen out through the feet, that's going to loosen out through the calves, which will loosen out through the hamstrings. So anyone that does running, it's going to be really good for you, Aoife. 10 seconds, Clodagh. We all good? I know it's a torture. Freya's dying as well. Kate, this is easy for you. And slowly come back out of that, guys. All right, we're going to come back onto all fours. This time you're going to step your right foot out. So there's a straight line from your knee to your heel. So if you can see, hang on. If you see my foot, my toe is pointed down. So my heel and toe are both on the floor and there's a nice straight line. Now with your pelvis, I want you to try to keep that pelvis still. So we're not rotating as we try to rock. So keep the pelvis still. You're going to rock your weight back. You're going to come forward to your shoulders, pass your fingers, and rock back. You're just going to give me 10 slow rocks. Once you've done your 10th rock, guys, what we're going to do is we're going to sit our bum all the way back on your heel. Take your hands to the inside of your knee. You're going to turn your toe up to the ceiling. Use your hand in the inside of that knee, and now you're going to push your toe down towards the floor as if you're a ballerina, you're trying to point your toe. And if you're not feeling that, let's slide your heel out a little bit further and then try to point the toe. So if you're doing it right, this knee will want to close in to try and give yourself some relief through those adductors. And just relax your shoulders, guys. Make sure you're not keeping a load of tension up through the upper body. Good. We're going to bring our hands back out in front. You're going to bring that knee back in and we're going to swap sides over. So the left side is out. Again, nice straight line from the heel to the knee. Make sure that pelvis is nice and still. And you're rocking forward and back. Just notice as you rock back that you're not tilting the pelvis to one side. You're not scrunching up, hiking one hip up higher than the other. Once you've done your 10, you're going to sit all the way back onto that heel. We're going to rotate your toe up. Maybe you need to slide that heel out a little bit further. And once you're in that position, you're then going to point the toe away from your body.
Every move you make, every bond you break, every step you take, I'll be watching you.
Perfect. You're going to bring that leg back in and we're going to get ready for our squat stance again. We're not going to hold our squat first of all. We're going to work into the ankles. So you can have a look at me. This time you're going to be up off your heels, so you're on your toes. Your knees are both pointing sideways out to the side and your hands are in the middle. Your hands are very important. You're going to bring your body weight forward as you dip onto one side and try to tap that knee off the floor. So your hands are going to be a big help to you. Make sure they're not back down where your heels are. Bring them out in front, and you're just going to do 10 slow taps. Staying off your heels, you're on the toes. You're coming forward, tapping the knee, keep pushing the knee out 10 times, 5 on each side. So Clodagh, have a look at me. I'm rocking to the side to allow my knee to come down. If you just go straight down, yeah, that's it. It's going to be very hard. So 10 reps. So just loosen into the calves again. Once you've done your 10 reps, just come back to the center so I know that you're done. And we're gonna go for another 1 minute squat hold. Now I think everyone was okay with the squat hold. If you were really struggling, you can go against a wall where you're gonna be right down. Are we ready to go? You're pushing back into those heels. Step your feet out if you need to. 3, 2, 1, off we go. Just get those arms on the inside of the knees. And again, if you're struggling, just get something under the heels. Maybe it's a cushion, anything small. It's easier with your shoes on for this, obviously, but it's good that you're doing it in your bare feet because it's going to make your ankle mobility that little bit better. We're already halfway, guys. Try see if you can lift that chest a little bit more. Can you rock back to the ankles more? You might rock back all the way. Don't worry if you do. Just get back up and try again. 10 seconds to go. 3, 2, 1. Come back onto those knees and relax. All right, we're gonna go into our frog stretch. So really getting into the hips. So with this one, I'm gonna just face side on so you guys can see. I'm putting the weight into my hands. I'm starting on all fours. From this position, I'm just gonna step both my knees out nice and wide. Once my knees are out as wide as they can go, I'm going to turn my feet out a little bit wider than that, and I'm just going to walk my hands back until I feel a nice tight area that doesn't actually feel too good. You're just going to hold it there. So if you are on a hard surface, just turn sideways so your knees are on your mat, Aoife, so you don't hurt your knees. Or else if you have 2 cushions, I suggest putting them under. If you feel good there, guys, can you drop down to your elbows? We're going to be here for 45 seconds more. Don't worry, I already started the clock. So you may have to play around with it. For some of you, coming a little bit further forward is going to get more into the hips. And the adductors, for some of you, it's rocking back. But just notice that that pelvis isn't changing. It's not hiking up on one side, staying stacked. We're almost through it. We have 15 seconds to go, guys. So if it's feeling comfortable, can you push the knees out a little bit further? Your stretches should feel a little bit uncomfortable, but not to the point where they're unbearable. If they're unbearable, that's too much. Your body's not going to relax, just release a little bit. Perfect. To get out of it, guys, walk your hands back, bring the soles of the feet together, and then you can lift the knees in. Perfect. Well done. All right, how's everyone doing? We all okay? Yeah? This is perfect. All right, we're going to go into our couch stretch. So your couch stretch is one I think most of us will have done before. We are going to need either a wall or a couch. If you are on tiles or a wooden floor, get a cushion or a pillow for under your knee. We're going to be here for 90 seconds on each side. Laura, if you're not able to go into, have a quick look at me. If you're not able to go into the couch stretch, you can do it from the floor. So where you bend the foot, leave a little bit of a gap, and then what you can do is just lean back, keeping your knee on the floor and squeeze your bum. On your bad side, do that one so there's no pressure on your knee, all right? Everyone else, you're going to take your back leg up onto the wall or the couch. From that side, you're going to take your other leg out into a lunge position, and you're going to use your leg to lift yourself up. Now, if you can't straighten your body up, so you want your back, knee, hip, and shoulders all in one straight line, if you're down like this, you probably need to move your knee further away from the couch. And once we're in that straight line, you're going to tuck your pelvis underneath, and we're going to hold it here. So keep squeezing your bum. Make sure that rib cage is locked down. And we have 90 seconds. So Laura, just go to wherever feels comfortable once you can keep your knee on the floor and keep squeezing your glute behind you. All good, Kate? Yeah, cool. Can't see you with the sun shining in. But it's nice that the sun is out, I suppose. So you're going to be feeling it either into the quad, guys, which is the front of the leg, or into the hip if the hip is really tight. But anything like a stretch like this, 90 seconds to 3 minutes is where you want to be holding it. So if you're on a work call, get down into this stretch while you're on a call. Not you, Amy, obviously, because you don't work from home. Good. Keep squeezing the glute, guys. It's very easy to relax, and then you're not getting any stretch. We have 30 seconds to go. Good. Slowly bring your hands down in the center to let yourself out of it. You can take your front leg back first and then take the back leg off. We're going to swap it around, so back leg goes up first onto the couch or the wall. Use your hands to get into that lunge position. And then you're going to sit up nice and tall. I'm starting the clock now. From there, tucking that pelvis under and make sure we're not arching the back. So pull the rib cage into the belly button. Big squeeze of the bum. So we're just coming up on halfway. If you're finding it really hard to balance, guys, you might need to move that front foot out a little bit wider. So think of those train tracks. You're not on a tightrope. If you are, you may be wobbling. Keep squeezing that bum. You're almost there with 20 seconds to go. And relax out of that. Take those hands down. Take the back leg down. All right, from this position, you're going to be on the floor and we're just going to step into a nice long lunge. So your two hands are going to be on the inside. What we're going to do is we're going to drop, actually face sideways so you guys can see. Sorry, the sun is making it hard. So your back leg is on the ground. Your hands are in the middle of your body. And what we're going to do, we're going to push into the knee of the back leg and we're going to try to pull our hip towards our ankle on the floor. So we're trying to get that hip lower. So what we're going to do is contract and relax just like we did with the butterfly stretch a few moments ago, all right? So we're going to go for 10 seconds, squeezing our bum and trying to pull that hip down as much as we can. And then we're going to relax. When I say relax, you're just going to try push a little bit deeper into the stretch in a nice controlled manner. All right, are we ready for 10 seconds? In 3, 2, 1, off we go. Squeeze the bum hard. Try push the hip down. Really push. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Just breathe out and try sink that hip a little bit further. Good. We're going to push again for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Breathe out. Just relax into that stretch. From here, we're going to try to bring our elbows down to the floor. If we can, maybe for some of us that looks like one elbow down, one straight arm. We're just holding it here. Try focus on keeping the heel flat, but you can drive the knee off out to the side. And we're here for another 30 seconds. Big belly breaths here, guys. We're going to come back up to our arms. Good job. We're going to push the hip back. We're just going to lengthen that front leg just for a moment, just to give our little lower back and the hip a little bit of a rest. Good. We're going to take our hands both into the center. We're going to bring that leg behind us and we're going to swap it over. So we're in our long lunge again. Our two hands are in the center. Our hips are facing towards the floor, but both forwards. We're not rotating at all. Good. Our back knee is down into the floor. We're going to untuck that toe. We're going to do the exact same thing where we push hard for 10, then we breathe out and we try to relax and push ourselves a little bit deeper into that stretch. Are we ready to go, guys? In 3, 2, 1, let's push. Squeeze your bum. Pull that hip down as much as you can. 5, 3, 2, 1, relax the glutes, breathe out and try push yourself a little bit forward, relaxed. Good. We're going to squeeze the bum again. Start to pull the hip in. 3, 2, 1. Big squeeze. Keep pushing that hip to the floor. 5, 3, 2, 1. Release the glutes. We're going to take those elbows down to the floor for another 30 seconds here. And you may well feel a lot tighter on one side than the other, that you can't get down. That's okay. Keep pushing the knee out, heel stays down. Ten more seconds. Good job. Let's take it back up to a straight arm. We're going to do the same thing again. We're just going to push our bum back and lengthen that front leg just to give the hip a little bit of relaxation. And you can come up out of that. So guys, for the next bit, we're going to go into our lying V stretch. So I know some of you have done that with me before. The best thing is if you have a wall. So don't worry too much if you can't get your camera wherever the wall is. You can also do it in the middle of the floor if you don't have access to a wall, but it's just going to be very tiring for your leg. So if you have to do it in the middle of the floor, basically your hips are staying on the floor and you're just going to lengthen the legs out into a V and you're going to have to hold it there. If not, you're going to come against the wall. You're going to scoot your bum in so your hip is in line with the wall as tight as you can. And from that position, you're just going to push yourself around so your lower back is in contact with the wall. And then from this position, you're going to push your knees into the wall. I have a thing there, but I'll move it in a second. But with your legs nice and straight, you're just going to let your legs fall down the wall into that V. And we're going to hold this one for 3 minutes. So if you can go against the wall, you're probably better off. If that means just going out into the hallway or something, it is a long 3 minutes. Amy, are you going to have to do it in the middle of the floor? Or can you go out to the hall? Just go out to the hall and face in. Don't worry if the camera isn't with you guys. Can you? No?
I do the hallway, yeah.
Yeah, and it doesn't have to have the camera. Just make sure you can hear me counting you in and out. So I'll just give everyone a moment to get set up. So we're going to start by bringing your hip in as close to the wall as you can. You're going to butterfly your feet up. Once your legs are on the wall, make sure your bum is still close as you can to the wall, but off the wall. So it's down on the floor, not the wall. Let your knees drop, heels drop, and we have 3 minutes from here, guys. This one is going to feel great when we get out of it. Just make sure those kneecaps are nice and straight. And just breathe as you're here. We're just on 1 minute, guys. If you're nice and relaxed and you've been doing your belly breaths and it feels good, let's see if we can drop those legs even half an inch. The whole time we're pushing the knees into the back of the wall. Good work, guys. You're going to be really opening up into it now. We're already past the halfway point. Last 30 seconds, guys. All right, to get out of it, you're going to use your hands and you're going to place them on the outside of the thighs. You're going to use your hands to push your legs together in the air because it's going to hurt. Take your time getting out of it. You can bend your knees and then just roll to one side. So you land on your shoulder and one knee. And from that position, take a moment and you can get yourself back up. But your adductors are going to hurt for a second after getting out of that. And whatever way you can crawl yourself back around. That is you guys done for today, team. I have no, the sun is blinding here. I'll sit back a bit. How is that, guys? I'm sitting in a weird angle because the sun is blinding me. I just have a quick question before we go also, because I'm just going to stop that recording. Monday is obviously